Welcome everyone to the Young Professional African Collective, also known as YPAC. I'm your host, Eberichi Obwaku. And here at YPAC, I talk to people doing work on the African continent or pertaining to the African continent. And today I have a very special guest with me. We're going to get into the arts, we're going to get into music, we're going to get into culture, and I'm so excited to share that with you all. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce our guest today. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. Just for everyone listening I know people are like, we got them names.
Yeah.
We got them names.
Yes.
We got them names, but it's fine.
Yes.
So Ajara Alghali, and I always say like the African A. Because if you listen to A names, it always, I don't know if that's a short A,
I always struggle with that too because I'm like the E's are like a flat E or like I don't know. It's not like the E. It's like E-B-R-E chi. So
I'd be like Ajara, but I was like, it's like Amara, Ayo. It's the same type of A.
Absolutely. So with Ajara, that's Ghanaian, right?
Nope. It's well, actually, it's a Muslim name.
Okay.
So people think like it's Ajua, but it's Ajara.
Ra. Okay. So you spell yours
AJ. Yep, AJRA. But in French-speaking countries, it's ADJ. ARA.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're from Sierra Leone?
Yep. My father is from Sierra Leone.
Well, come on the west side. We love the west side. I love that.
Yeah.
And so have you been before?
I go every year. I've
Amazing.
gone every year for the past 15 years.
Wow.
And so it's not December that I am not I'm not going to Freetown. Seriously.
Tell me about that because I haven't been to Sierra Leone. I know some people from there, but tell me about Freetown. Tell me about maybe other areas of the place, and tell me about how it is in December.
In December, it's crowded.
Okay.
But probably like all places in Africa, that's when the diaspora want to go home. And that's perfectly fine. Sierra Leone, Freetown in itself, I feel like it's still untapped.
Okay.
Sierra Leone was like the place to be in the 60s, early 70s. My dad came here in 1975, so he's been here longer than he was ever in Sierra Leone, but don't tell him that.
Okay.
But I think, with the war, it's now trying to like gain its footing again in terms of like destination. So Sierra Leone has always been ranked like very high in terms of the world's best beaches. I mean, it's a beautiful country.
Okay.
Freetown itself, my family is from Freetown in the eastern part of Freetown. So I hate to say like when it was founded, because Freetown was not founded. It was just when the sailors from Europe came upon it. That is the area of Sierra Leone that they settled in first. It's the east part of the of Freetown, and that's called Frobe. And so my family is from Frobe. So Frobe is a mixture of individuals that came from Nigeria.
Interesting.
Part of my family came from Nigeria during the settlement of Sierra Leone when it was a British colony. So my family, some went to Sierra Leone from Nigeria, some went to Gambia.
Okay.
Just because of that, like that English colonization. And so also it's a mixture of individuals, because we consider ourselves Creole as well, but not Creole in a sense, because most Creoles that you hear about in Sierra Leone are Christian Creoles.
Okay.
And those are the individuals that came from Nova Scotia, Canada, from Great Britain, and came to settle in Sierra Leone, similar to the Americo-Liberians that came from here and settled in Monrovia. So it's definitely like a story, you know, between Sierra Leone, Liberia, but also the whole region, you know, because like I said, Freetown was settled by, you know, expatriates, you know, in formerly enslaved Africans from Nigeria, the Congo. So we have a lot of areas called Congo Town, or Fula Town, you know, that just represents where those individuals came from. So I am a history buff, so I love the history.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know all that. I didn't know that, especially like the Creole, you know, there was like a group of people who identify with that as well. So I love tapping into all that history too. So thank you for sharing. I hope y'all are learning something, taking notes, do whatever you got to do. I think this is going to be this has already started off as an interesting conversation. It's going to get even better. So you say you've been going back for 15 years. What was it like even 15 years ago versus what it is now?
You know how every time you go to a place, you go, man, so much has changed. I would definitely say that every time I go, my cousin's like, oh, we should go to this restaurant or this restaurant, or we should go here. And I'm like, stop. It's too much to do.
Okay.
So like from the first time I went, it was just like a real eye-opening experience. Like I started traveling back to the continent, about 20 years, more than like 20 years ago. My first trip to the continent was South Africa. And I was there for school. So I did a study abroad and, you know, was there. And I said, okay, I want to continue to explore the continent. And so I went to Sierra Leone the first time. My aunt passed away. And so I said, I want to go. And that was my first time going, and you know, even though it was for a sad occasion, I was able to see a lot of family. And so like that was an occasion where like, oh, okay, you know, that's this person, that's this person, that's this person. And then I went back the same year, but in December, because I just wanted to have a different experience.
For sure.
And it was definitely, and from there I just got I got the travel book. So I tried to go earlier in December, you know, right before everyone starts coming. So just I could, you know, be like, okay, get my mind right for the traffic.
Yes.
And
I can only imagine.
The traffic, because in Freetown, it's still like small, narrow streets. You know, just based on how it was mapped out by the British government. So it's still those narrow streets. So like the population of Sierra Leone is about 5 or 6 million. I do believe 1.5 million is in the city of Freetown. Because it is, I'm like, oh, where are
just
all these?
The one?
I swear, it is. But I will say that, I mean, and no, like, you know, I'm not going to criticize the government or here nor there, but you know, it is. It makes you think, it makes you wonder, just in terms of like the culture that other countries have been able to disseminate into their own diaspora. I'm talking about, you know, even South Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, you know, Sierra Leone have a rich culture. And so like we Sierra Leoneans tend to say, you know, that, you know, the Civil War stop that culture for being disseminated. But I'm like, okay, guys, it's been 20 years, 20 plus years since the Civil War. Like, we really have to tap into what it is to be Sierra Leonean. But I'm also, and I'm going on a tangent, but I also don't use the term Sierra Leonean that often because we didn't create that.
Right. So how would you like identify yourself?
West African for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, West African for sure. Or black. I do not get into those like country games because Sierra Leone was not named by a black person. It was a Portuguese sailor who stumbled upon the coast and said, the wind sounds like mountains. You know, like the wind coming off the wind coming from the mountains sounded like a lion roaring.
Interesting.
And so Sierra, mountain, Leone, lion, mountain lion. So that's a Portuguese term, as a Portuguese spelling, so it's not even like
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, you know, if I were to say anything, I would say, oh, my family is Yoruba, because I would identify with the group first before I would identify with the country, because the country in its existence doesn't have anything to do with us. Now we have to claim nationality because of the political climate that we're in, and you know how we navigate that. But I don't.
That is so interesting, because I know the Yoruba people, sure, majority are in Nigeria, but it's all across the West African countries, and obviously it's transcended even, you know, other countries and whatnot and continents. I know there's a lot of influence in Cuba and in the Caribbean in general. So it's a widespread like identity of people. And sure, when they cut the countries, however they decide to cut it at the Berlin Accord, then that's when it's like, okay, now we have to be a part of this side of whatever country. But it's literally like an arbitrary line that they just decided to cut in.
I do not. I'm like, I'm Sierra Leonean for my passport.
Right.
But that's about it. That's about it.
So tell me about then growing up in Detroit. Have you always come here? Been raised here?
Growing up in Detroit, you know, some people will always ask, like, you know, how was it growing up in Detroit during like the crack epidemic or so? Because I'm a child of the 80s, you know what I mean? That's me. Like, sorry, young people. Like, you know.
Don't apologize.
But I think I wasn't really exposed to that, you know. Of course, like I saw in movies and things like that. But Detroit, for me, growing up, was a city of abundance. And what I mean by that, I don't like to use the term black excellence, because I feel like we are black, therefore we are excellent.
Period.
I don't use black excellence, but I will say that, again, it was a place of abundance where you could see black people in all forms of like in their own demographic, whether if it's like economic, whether it's career, like my dentist, my doctor, the person that shined the shoes, you know. And so my father worked for Ford, and while he came here on a scholarship to go to Lawrence Tech. He was really like, oh, you could get paid way more going into the plants, and that's what he did. And later married my mom, and then boom. But it was very rich. It was very like cultural, you know. Lived a very like middle class life, upbringing, but I do feel that because growing up in Detroit, I was able at a young age to be exposed to the multifacetedness of black people. Like I understood at an early age that, you know, Black people come from all over, do everything. I think I mentioned that my dad owned a nightclub, and so that was a heavy influence. I think
Very cool.
That allowed me to understand like music and the foundation, but let my parents tell it, I was dancing before I could walk.
Okay.
So my parents would put on music. Soukous was hot during the time.
Okay, yes.
So soukous from the Congo was hot. My dad was a
Love that.
soukous fan. So they would play the songs, but it, you know, babies would bounce on their bottom. But my parents would say like my bounce would get higher and higher as the rhythm started to come in. So like my mom said she said she couldn't believe how far in the air I would bounce.
Okay.
And so people would come to the house and be like, I need to see Ajara dance. And so I wasn't even walking. And I was just kind of like,
yeah, so you had it from birth.
I had it from birth. But my dad is a good dancer. So yeah, my dad, I think my mom was like, when they were like going out, my dad would take her dancing and she'd be like, this man can dance.
Okay.
I just Africans can dance.
Okay, got the rhythm.
Yeah. And so my dad being a DJ also, I was exposed to soukous, to of course like hip hop, Afrobeat. You know, like I knew who Fela was when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when he passed away, you know, because I remember all of that. I know Zouk, you know, from the Caribbean, you know, because I grew up listening to that. So my vocabulary is wide, you know, due to, you know, the influence of my dad, but also the influence of all of those people that came to the nightclub. And, you know, like I said, the Jamaican uncles and Congolese aunties.
I think that's so interesting. I think people are often really shocked by like how like big of an African community there is here in Detroit. Like there's a huge Nigerian population, there's a huge Liberian population, Ghanaian population, Caribbean. And how big is the
Sierra Leonean population? Is not that big, but we do lean into the Liberian community. We're like, hello, brothers and sisters from So it wasn't always that case. It was like it was a lot of, you know, like Sierra Leone and Liberia, like we usually have their events together.
Interesting.
But then, you know, the Liberian community grew more. The Sierra Leonean population is big in Columbus, Ohio, or in the DMV. Even in Grand Rapids, but not so much here in Detroit.
You learn something new every day, truly. So tell me how you got involved in TeMaTe. I don't know if you all know what TeMaTe is, but it's a arts and expression in music and dance organization. So tell me a little bit about that, how you got involved, and all the things.
Well, I started my journey in the traditional African arts for 20 years ago. So I've been dancing, studying for about 20 years. And so I wanted to do more than dance. So it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. I was doing dance classes at Marygrove, and the dance classes got shut down, of course. And we were like, okay, what do we do now? And TeMaTe really came to be because it was just a group of us that wanted to dance and wanted to find an outlet, you know. But however, like TeMaTe evolved, but the individuals that started it were like, okay, I'm just trying to do this for fun. Like, I'm not trying to like have this be my thing. And I was like, I don't do things for fun. I don't have that. I do not have that. You know, I want to do the things that I love to do, bottom line. Like, I don't have things that,
Yeah.
oh, that's for fun. I do this to make my living. No, it's all got to be
Wrapped in
fun.
one,
It all has to
yeah.
be wrapped up into one. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to take this over here. And that's what happened. So TeMaTe became a 501c3 organization in 2020, and we've really been growing ever since. So there was a dance friend who came from St. Louis.
Okay.
And so she used to dance with the company in St. Louis, and she would talk about this dance, TeMaTe. And I was like, I really love that name, because I was thinking, like, okay, if you think about a name, what is a name that could just come off your lips and people would love saying?
Yeah.
And I said, TeMaTe.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
What does it mean?
it means the most beautiful in the Wobe language of the Ivory Coast.
I love that.
Yes.
The
so
most beautiful.
So the most beautiful institute for Black dance and culture, really. And it's a rice harvest dance.
Okay.
And I truly believe that this is what we are doing, is we are harvesting for the next generation, you know, for the next individuals to come. I mean, it doesn't have to be young people. It could be those that that want to just learn more. And so TeMaTe has grown. We have a company of about 15 individuals,
Okay.
Staff.
Okay. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so what started out is like, you know, this is a hobby to me, being like, no, I'm not into hobbies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about
Yeah.
to be, I'm not a hobby person.
Okay.
Like, I didn't start my journey into the traditional African arts until like way later in life. I didn't even know this existed. And that's what I, as an African, as someone who, you know, identifies as an African American, a Black American, an African, I feel like it's such a disservice for us not to know our traditional cultures. And it's so rich. It's so rich. It's like, you know, because we don't dance for just no reason. Of course, it's a dance. Dance brings joy. Dance brings out endorphins. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a positive, your body reacts positively to dance. So, you know, dance is essential to your health, but it's also essential to community building.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are dances that you do when you give birth, for baby showers, for death, for the end of Ramadan, to when you get married. All stages of life, in your ways of being, there is something connected to it. And that, I feel like that's something that we should really hold on tight to. Like, I do not believe in conforming to any other, like, whether it's like cultural aspect. Like, our culture is deep.
For sure.
And we definitely need to be holding on tight to that, because it's also being, you know, commodified and commercialized at a rapid rate too. You know, the same way, like, you know, like us as Black people don't take the culture, and not all of us, of course, you know, but some don't take it serious. But I mean, there are others that will go and then sell it back to you. And then I just feel like, why would you pay? Why would you pay for something that is innately within you? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And so, like, when I found out about, like, wait a second, it's this type of dance, and I was like, where has this been? Like, why wasn't I exposed to this? And like, and I say traditional because it's traditional in a sense, like, those are, you know, that comes from, like, the village, but the classical dance, are those steps that you get from your grandmother or, some an elder in the community. And it's like one or two steps that you do, and it's in a communal base, but then you take it and develop choreography, and that is why I say, traditional versus classical, because I don't do classical. I might learn a classical dance step, but then, I'll and not change it, because the steps are the steps. I don't make the steps any different, but you add to the steps. But you can only add to the steps if you understand the reason why you're dancing.
Absolutely.
And so like we were speaking about earlier, it's like, okay, it's the way that you move your arm. It's the way that you do things. You have to understand the reason for the dance, why you do it, in order to like build on it.
Yeah.
When you speak of West African dance, you're speaking about like a small section of West Africa. So like me being like ethnically Yoruba, I'm not talking about Yoruba dance, or I'm not talking about other dances. I'm talking about dances from Guinea, Mali, Gambia, even Sierra Leone, only because of those certain countries had national ballets during the process of independence. So it was a way for the countries to showcase their culture, right? It was a time of celebration, doing away from the colonial ties, and the way that they thought to export their culture was through the national ballet. And so the first national ballet that came out of Africa was Ballet de Africain. That is the Guinea Ballet. And that was 1959. So just think about all of that time that people have been exposed to African dance. It's been through that lens. So I definitely want to be able to have an opportunity where other ethnic groups, other countries would be able to showcase their traditional dance as well. And so that could be like a segue of where TeMaTe could be hosting other dance classes, right? We have Ugandan that's going to be in late November, but that's what we're supposed to do, is Black dance and culture, not Guinea dance and culture, but Black dance. So if you consider yourself Black, then we want to be able to have a platform where you can showcase your cultural identity.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Ooh. And I love learning different styles, because I'm Nigerian, specifically Igbo, so there's specific Igbo dances that mean specific things. I've gone to classes with Biza at U of M, and in West African, in Congolese dance, there's specific things that mean specific, the movements correspond to it. Whether it's Karen Pro, whether it's Dr. Sadie Sarr, whether it's Mama Shashu and Marwan, like there's so many different ways and like languages to learn within the dance style. So it's not just, just the African arms or the African legs. Like, no, it's specific to the region, it's specific to the culture, specific to the event. Like, it's for something. Sure, sometimes, like, yeah, it'll look good. And it's just like more of like a stylistic thing. But knowing the foundations helps you then build on actually what you're doing. So it's not random. It's very specific and very intentional. The music, the dance, even the facial expressions, what you're wearing, like it's all really a whole thing where you have to think about what you're doing and make it make sense and communicate that appropriately. So what is a performance that you've had that you've really loved, that you just kind of keep thinking about, that's like, oh, that was a good one?
We just did the African World Festival on Sunday. So we were on the main stage.
Okay.
That performance,
Okay.
I will say, mind you, I messed up.
Okay.
But
I'm sure everybody noticed.
Right. But I did. I was like, oh, did you see them arms, y'all? Oh my God. But folks in the audience, like one of my dance moms, she came up to say that was she was like, that was the best performance y'all ever did. She said from the costume to you guys having a storyteller involved. We really tried to do productions. Like, I'm not trying to just come in and do. So side note, like, yeah, we could come to your stuff, but I hope you got a budget for a production.
There it is.
Because we're not just going to come in and do like a 1-2 step. We're not about to do the culture like that. Because
it's
again,
an ensemble.
Exactly.
That should be respected.
Exactly. And you know, we don't dance for dance sake.
Yeah.
And so I want people to know that, like, no, like it's storytelling. It's you know, the musical composition. And so we had the liberty to do that. So we had a storyteller. We had, you know, like us, like doing like multiple dances, you know, like the overall story was about a king. And so we had someone come in as a king and we danced around them. And so that was one of the best performances to date. Now I will say our concert on the 18th is about to be the best.
Okay.
But that is next week.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah, but because we were able to give like a full story. And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah. So the 18th, tell me about that event coming up. October 18th. Is it just one day?
No, it's October 18th and 19th.
Okay.
It is our 5th convening for dance and culture. The first one was during COVID.
Okay.
So it had to be online.
Okay.
So fast forward, this is our 5th one.
5 years
so
in.
We've had so the one online, we asked a few dance companies from around the country to like send us videos of rehearsals, past performances, and we put those online. So people paid for a 3-week conference, and like every week we like showcased a dance company. We had online classes, and then we had like an interview session with someone. So we took that concept and just are doing a conference, in-person conference. So it's 2 days, and while there are other conferences across the country, you know, I'm really interested in getting individuals excited about African diaspora dance like I am. Because I feel like, especially during this day and age where our culture is at threat of being erased, eliminated, like we have to find ways to connect and celebrate who we are. And so our organization focuses on dance and music as part of the culture. And so the 2 days is we have Congolese dance from Biza.
Love
we have Afro beats from an amazing like artist based in Detroit from Nigeria. He goes by Tom Tom. He does a lot of classes on the East Coast, but he's based here, and he is energetic, amazing. Like he's danced with a lot of Afrobeat artists, so I love that. We have Senegalese dance, Sabar. So a lot of people are intimidated by Sabar,
because I can get the first few steps, and then after a while I'm like, I'm lost, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get it one of these days.
And so our culminating event is our concert that is held on Saturday evening. This year is going to be at DSA, Detroit School of Arts, in the 4 Auditorium. And this is the first time in the 5 years that TeMaTe, will be headlining the entire concert.
Amazing.
So yeah, the title is Rituals, Rhythms of Life and Legacy. So we're really talking about the rituals of our everyday life. How do we get back to those rituals? And we're not speaking about rituals as any religious thing or anything like that, but we have rituals that we do.
Right.
And the way we do things, you know, the way we are, you know, how you even get ready for it, get ready in the morning. It's a certain way that you get ready in the morning. And so we have a dance that signifies how young women like get ready to go out. You know, like when we were younger, at least when I was younger, when I would get ready to go out, I would take my clothes and everything to a friend's house and we would get ready together.
Yeah.
That's
it's a process.
Ritual.
Yeah.
That's a ritual.
And I think, because, when people hear rituals, they're thinking like it's something crazy going on. But it's like, no, it's just like a way of doing things, an order of doing things. And I love that, that you're going to showcase different types of rituals in there. So I'm excited to be there. I'm going to be there. I hope you are. Okay. Get your tickets. It's the October 18th and 19th.
October 18th and 19th. We have dance classes both days, the 18th and 19th at Andy Arts. That's right on the west side, 3000 Finkel. And the concert is Saturday evening, the 18th. Doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8. We implore you to be there on time because we're starting on time because we need to give you a good show.
Yeah. I'm excited for all of this. All the information will be linked in the bio. Any last words that you want to share with the people?
Oh boy. Only that it is very important for us to realize that our culture, as Black people globally, so I'm talking about the diaspora, however you identify, is that like we need to be able to retain it.
Yeah.
We need to be able to retain it. We need to be able to hold on to it and to be able to pass it down. And I think that all of us in the African diaspora has been traumatized by the delegitimization of us as people. And I feel like the way to get from that is to take back what is ours.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so, and like I said, TeMaTe, like we're doing it through dance. Other people might be doing it through visual arts, you know, but it's many different mediums that you can activate and build your social activism from. And we say that we're a social justice organization first, who uses dance as a tool for our activism. So.
I love it. Yes. Well, Ajara, thank you for joining me today. This was such a great conversation. I am so excited for people to watch it and even more excited to see you guys in person. So I hope you enjoyed this latest episode of YPAC. Make sure you follow TeMaTe on Instagram.
Yep, it's TeMaTe Dance on all platforms. So TeMaTe Dance.
Okay, that'll be linked. Follow them, follow YPAC. Make sure you stick around and watch the latest episodes. Go back and watch some of the old episodes too. Those are amazing. I hope you have a great day, and I am excited to see you next time.